Alrighty, guys. I'm not going to be live for too long, but we're just going to hop on and damn, how does it do that? I still don't understand how my camera does that. All right, guys, we're going to talk about how to change your life in the next 90 days because I am in the process of changing my life in the next 90 days. And I think it's absolutely crucial that we all understand we have a framework to change our lives in the next 90 days. One of the things I have my journal here, and I'm just going to read some prompts that I've been going through to figure out whether or not I even want to change my life in the next 90 days. Because all of change, when I went from 0 to 30K in our agency 3-4 years ago, and this was life changing for me. This is really where my entrepreneurial journey started. Was when I went from 0 to 30K, I was simply focused on changing myself. I was so committed to changing myself. I went 3-4 years eating dogs, just eating poop for 3 years, not seeing any results. And then the moment came where I just decided I'm gonna change. I'm gonna dedicate myself to change. And I decided to do anything in my power to change. And when I made the decision, when I made the commitment, I changed. And I went from 0 to 10K in a matter of 2 months, and I went from 10K to 30K in a matter of another 2 months. So in a matter of 4 months, we went from 0 to 30K after probably only making 5K in total, not a month, and 5K in total in 3 to 4 years before that. So that's the power of commitment. So I think one of the questions is, you really want to change your life in the next 90 days, ask yourself, do you even want to change? Because change comes at a cost. Change is not free, right? Change might not cost money, but it's going to cost you your habits. It's going to cost you feelings of discomfort. It's going to cause you to maybe let go of relationships, let go of things, identities that you've been holding on to. And more than money, those things might hurt more, right? They might cost you more. There's things that you're so used to in your lives. When I look at my life, there's so many things I'm used to in my life. So many things, right? It's hard to let go of those things. But if you need to get to another level in your life, if you need a new result, you need new inputs, right? Those are first principles. First principles is there's an input, there's an output, right? There's a cause and effect to everything in life. And so if you want a different effect in your life, right? Whether it be a bank account, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a change in character as a person, that you need a different input. You need to do certain things that are different. And again, so that the very first step, if you want to make that change, become aware of what you would need to change. List it out. Like for me, journal helps, right? I just take out a journal and I write down, what do I need to do to actually change? And then I be really honest with myself, and I say, hey, Caleb, are you going to do this? Right? Are you going to let go of the friends? Are you going to stop talking to that one person? Are you going to commit to these daily actions? Are you going to do the work? Are you going to stay less distracted? Are you going to cut off your phone during deep work? Are you going to stay consistent with bedtimes and wake up times? Are you going to stay consistent with your nutrition? Are you going to stay consistent with working out? If I can list out what is required, instead of just saying I'm going to change, being very honest with what I need to do to change. And then once I'm aware of the workload and the commitment and what's actually required and the truth, then I can come to terms with accepting whether or not I want to do that. And if you look at that list and you say, hey, I'm not ready for this, then don't commit. Don't commit, but also don't expect the result. Don't expect a different outcome. Don't expect a different effect if you're not willing to put in the calls, if you're not willing to put in the inputs. So that's why people say to commit, but I like to list out, be really honest of what it would take for you to change, and then see that list, see what you would have to commit to on a daily basis. Then ask yourself, do I want to change? And if the answer is still yes, then go ahead, make that decision, commit. And that's the very first point in being able to make a change for yourself. The next thing is exposure, right? So exposure is being able to see different possibilities of your life, right? This is another thing in my life where I was exposed to a different life in California when I was 18. I decided to leave my hometown. I said, you know what? I don't want to be in my hometown. I'm getting out of here. And so I was exposed to a new environment. I went to California, and in California, I was able to meet different people, and I was exposed to Lambos and different lifestyles, right? Even though, that guy was actually, he was faking the whole entire thing, but still, I was still exposed to exotic cars, Lambos, G Wagons, all that. And because of the exposure, I started to realize like, what? Oh, damn, this is the money that's around. Because all the way up to that point, I've only driven or even seen, BMWs or just like very low class, uh, cars. And when I went to California, I was driving in Lambos. I was driving a G wagon. I was in these cars. I didn't own them, but I was still in it. And that's when I was exposed to different things. I realized, okay, this can be possible. Somebody has this car, and that means I can have it as well. So that was an exposure. That was one set of exposure. The second one was when I went back to Philadelphia. I worked under a guy named Chris Chae, who was really, I would consider my second, but one of the best mentors I've had. And he exposed me to hard work. Like, this guy was just one of the most hardest working guys, a very genuine guy, a guy that actually cared about what he was doing. And so I learned a lot from him, and I was very humbled by that experience. Even though I was working at a restaurant, I was doing videography work and not really running what I wanted to do, which is an agency at the time. I was still learning a lot, right? And I was willing to do all the grunt work so that I could work under this guy. And so I was exposed to a new level of habits, a new level of work ethic, right? And I was exposed to that. And then the third thing, and this is when I went from 0 to 30K with our agency, was I was exposed to Joel Kaplan, which was uh, my my mentor that really helped me grow the agency, because he exposed me through an online course that I rigged off of his I rigged his online course, and I was exposed to what he was showing me. He was showing me his entire agency and how he made millions of dollars. And when I was exposed to that, I never went back. I realized, hey man, I can't go back. I've seen it. I've seen it. I know it's possible. And the thing with Joel is that he lived in the neighborhood next to me. So he, him being in the same hometown, it just clicked for me. I was like, okay, this guy has done it. He was in the same hometown. This is possible. And it just felt a lot more real, right? It felt me a lot more real. And so in that moment is when I decided, okay, I'm exposed to that. And that's when I had the next step, right? So you get exposed, or you make a commitment first, you get exposed. And the next part is desire, right? Once I was exposed, I wanted it. I wanted to actually do this, right? And I could believe I could do it, right? I had a desire and faith that this is possible. And it was only until that desire really grew in me believing myself that I was able to make the change in my life. I was able to go from 0 to 30K because I made a commitment. I was exposed to new information and a new lifestyle, a new option to live life. And then I wanted it. I truly, genuinely wanted it, and I believed I could get it, right? So that desire, when you desire something, you take action, right? You want something, you take action. If you intrinsically want something, if I want to go buy a Porsche, I will go buy a Porsche. I will work hard to buy a Porsche, right? Desire will allow you to take action. Action is what's going to get you the result, right? And the more action you take, the more courageous action you take towards a big goal, the more you're going to gain confidence. And confidence is what's going to allow you to continue forward. And that's the last part, is you need confidence. Or if you want to change your life, you need confidence. The level of actions that you're taking right now in your life is based off your confidence. You date the person that you date because of your confidence. You make the money that you make because of your confidence. You charge how much you charge, right? The difference between you charging 3,000 versus me charging 15,000 is my level of confidence versus yours. The difference between me charging 15,000, somebody charging 100,000, is their confidence. You get what I'm saying? So confidence comes from your past. Your past are your results, and your results come from you taking action, and the action comes from you taking a step of faith. And you taking a step of faith, you need a desire, right? And you having a desire is you being exposed to a new outcome, a new way of living life. And if you get exposed to new ways of living life, and you can decide to commit in your head mentally that you're going to go after it, that's when all the puzzles come into play. So that's my structure of how I plan on changing my life in the next 90 days, and how I have done it before, right? I've gone from 0 to 30K before in a matter of 3 to 4 months. And I plan on going from, 30 to 100K a month in 90 days. And that's the goal. So hope that is helpful. I just wanted to hop on lives because it's so much easier for me to do this. So much easier for me to do this. I understand I'm not going to get a lot of views, but I actually, frankly, do not care. As long as you guys get value, let me know if you guys are getting value. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.